comment time?
That's simple enough.
Simple, yeah, just like the easy to spell.
Yeah, I sent it to Webb and I sent it to our insurance company.
Right.
Yeah, but if you just want to say whatever.
Yeah, just an agenda.
And it's in all their packets.
643, second letter.
Yes.
Because the first letter sounds like they're ready to go. The second letter makes clear they're not.
Yes, but the insurance company does have it.
That's all we have to do.
The same one. No, it's the yellow one right at the bottom of where the access road is gonna be.
Oh.
We already did a resolution last year for this, but the planning commission's requesting it again.
You have to get on the tip, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
That was something PennDOT wanted to see with the multimodal, with the funding.
Yeah, I've got to do similar ones for guys done for free.
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please help us to create a better Johnstown and a better community, and help us to protect our public assets. Amen. Okay, we need to call to order.
Mr. Pascarella,
Yes.
Mr. Hasselray,
Here.
Ms. Hugo is not here,
She didn't say she wasn't gonna attend, so maybe she's just running a little late, but.
Ms. Ray, here, Mr. Trusella.
Here.
Okay, next we need approval of the minutes from the, we have two meetings here, one from our regular meeting, and then we have the, special meeting that we had last week. We have a motion for approval.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay. Go ahead, roll call, please.
Mr. Hasselray,
Yes.
Mr. Pascarella,
Yes.
Ms. Ray. Yes. Mr. Trusella.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have there's a chance for public comment. Is there anybody who has public comment either here in person or on the phone? Sir, are you?
No, not on agenda items, nothing on agenda items, no.
Okay, all right. Let's move on here then. We start with the executive director's report.
Good afternoon, everyone. The weatherization program is still moving forward very quickly. Actually, we've received and approved 21 applications and continue to work with the smaller municipalities to just ask the question and answer sessions for their residents. And we have received a total of 40. So between the 40 and the 21, some have been denied based on income, and some were still vetting here at the authority. JRA, the State Theater Foundation, and the conference call, and the hospital had a conference call last week to discuss some potential changes. Attorney Barbin received those changes and myself yesterday. So I'm not certain if you even had time to.
I read through
You
them.
did, okay.
And I'm okay legally, but you and then the state theater
Sure.
have to say, does this meet with their plan?
Yes, and they did what we had discussed at the meeting prior. They did adjust the parcel that would be a portion of the subdivision to include the area in front of where the elevator would be.
So what's your timeline here for the happy landing of getting this signed by all parties? I mean, just your guesstimate.
Sure.
End of August, before everything goes okay.
I would say that's fair. We just are really gonna have to work closely with the city and the county as far as the subdivision
Okay.
for the meetings with the planning commission.
Okay.
And we also have not heard, I literally just received the documents this morning, but I haven't had a chance to reach out to the State Theater Foundation. JRA continues to provide funding for the lateral programs in the smaller municipalities. And since we have been talking about this and the article that was in the Tribune, we have received a lot more lately than we did over the past 6 to 8 months, so that's a positive as well. An update for Hasana Industries. I'm assuming the majority of you probably noticed the close to 100 volunteers we had over the last week. It was a church group from Avon Lake, Ohio that was working with Hasana, and they were able to, the majority of them were siding projects on the properties, and there were homes in Old Conemaugh Borough, Morelville, Moxham, 8th Ward, and the Central Business District that were worked on with the volunteers. And the school district housed all of them at the high school, so that was very nice also. They were very appreciative, as we were appreciative of the work that they were doing here. The 4 properties that were purchased through the land bank at the prior sale are still in the process of getting those deeded to the new owners. And the land bank acquired 13 properties at the sale on Friday. During that sale, many interested parties that were hoping that they could bid on those parcels approached me after the sale. So I did explain the process that these structures will still be advertised for the authority. They still have the opportunity to present an economic development plan, as well as the people that had requested those prior to. So I think we need to really make sure that we're presenting that message out there, that everyone has a fair opportunity to still acquire these parcels. And after next month's board meeting, once we receive the deeds, I will request from the board that we can place an ad in the paper to just make the general public aware of the parcels that we acquired. The authority received 3 responses to the RFP for the operation and maintenance contract for Dornick Point. Attorney Webb reviewed those responses and provided legal feedback. Interviews will be scheduled with each contractor over the next month. So during that time, we will have the group that was created here to interview those contractors and hopefully have something to present back to the board at the July or latest August meeting. And as far as demolition through the funding through the Community Foundation, locker construction, demolition and construction that was awarded the contract for East Conemaugh and Delborough was beginning today in East Conemaugh. He
Okay.
provided an update at the end of last week.
And do you have an update on the supermarket situation?
I do.
As much as you can,
Sure, I do.
without jeopardizing your negotiations.
For sure. We, on top of just the negotiation, first, I would like to say that we, Ms. Hukel, forwarded an email to me from the Downtown Residents Association, and just with their support of the market. So I will be passing this on to any potential interest as well, just so they can see that the residents are really embracing this project and how important it is to them to find a new operator for the market. And we now have 3 potential operators that we've been having discussions with between the city, JARI, and JRA. The only question I do have from the board is, would you like me to reach out to, and Bill, maybe if you wouldn't mind chiming in, reaching out to Mr. Mihalik. These people do want to tour the facility. They want to, really get into what's available there. I don't know. He did say July 1st. Whenever he originally talked to me, nothing has been placed in writing. I just, at this point, because it is a month-to-month lease, do we want to at least have that discussion with him to find out what that date is, that at a certain point we can begin to, I don't want to tour potential operators through the store currently that he's still.
We have a right to inspect the premises, and that
Correct.
could include other operators
Okay.
during reasonable working hours.
Okay, so just move
So
forward
we
as
have
is
that right,
scheduled,
yeah.
okay. So as long as it's normal working hours,
Yeah.
just to continue, okay.
He wouldn't be objecting, would he?
I just, as far as the
For
fact that
moving
he's still,
forward, if
yes.
someone, I mean.
Yeah, no, he's been very helpful to us.
Yeah, so why?
He has
But
been.
he is also gonna wanna try to gain any advantage in negotiating to
guess.
sell the equipment.
Yeah, the
I
equipment is the piece right now that
Yeah.
he still owns.
Right.
So I just wanted, and he obviously was our tenant since 2006, out of respect for the whole situation, I just wanna make sure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, so at the Juneteenth celebration, I was there and I was approached by former JRA board member Brian Verletic, and he was saying, you know, how important this was. And obviously, we all understand that, and you're very focused on this, and we discuss it, you know, several times a week. So could in light of the fact that, you know, Mr. Verletic's political family accused me of being an out-of-touch hilltopper, I'd really appreciate it if you would send him a letter updating him about this situation, and that, yeah, we're on it, you're on it, you live in the city.
Probably wouldn't be bad to do a letter to Mahalik saying, you know, you said this to us, but you haven't given us anything in writing. We need to confirm this so we know what we're doing.
Sure.
You had something on Facebook about the discount or something.
He
Well,
did.
there's
I saw
signs
that.
outside the sewer right now, saying
But I don't remember
everything
seeing
has
it.
to go.
I haven't seen it, I didn't see a drop dead date on that Facebook, I'm not sure.
Sure. Okay, so basically just request in writing from,
Yeah.
okay.
Because he has to give us 30 days notice.
Sure.
I have a couple questions.
Sure.
13 properties for the land bank purchased, are they all, maybe I missed something, but do they have potential buyers for them, or?
They do. Those are the ones that we received the letters of interest, and what I was explaining, so at this point, just from Friday's sale, 4 individuals have already reached out to the authority that they were interested in those parcels as well. So I've explained the process, that we will place an ad in the paper, we will request economic development plans for the properties. I've told the residents of interest that they're more than willing, if they're more than welcome to attend the board meeting, to come explain what their thoughts are, that everyone is, we just want to make sure that these properties get into good hands and that we're not seeing them again at the tax
Do
sale
we have any
in 3 years.
exposure between now and the time that those properties will transfer?
What the document said that we received is that those deeds should transfer by July 16th. Sometimes it takes a little longer than that for the tax claim bureau, but as soon as we receive them, that's whenever we place the ad for the economic development plans, and then the next month is whenever we present those to the board. And then Attorney Barban has the 4 from the past sale that you're almost completed with.
Yes.
Okay.
Sort of. I'm on it.
Okay. So the 4 prior from the
That has
last
the-
sale.
Well, what about the liability though? I mean, do we have an exposure while in this interim period when we hold
Yes.
those properties?
Yes, we do.
Yes.
For those 4. For these, we won't receive the deed
Yeah,
until this, yes,
yeah.
yes.
The demolition East Conway, I'm just curious, is that the building that was kind of falling down, do you know?
No, they're not the commercial buildings, they're 2 residential homes.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, are you satisfied, or can we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, next, Finance Director's report.
Good afternoon. The list of grant fund projects is attached for your review. Whole home repairs program is off to a great start, like Melissa had mentioned. Our applications are being reviewed every week. Sewer lateral assistance program updates. Contractors have begun final restoration of properties, and I'm closing them out as completed. We continue to conduct open houses every month. The GIS dashboard is attached for your review, along with the ARPA weatherization charts. 284 properties have already been completed, with only 56 homes still waiting. So that's a very, very fast-moving program with wonderful results. Young Oaks and Brown is in the process of finalizing the 2022 audit and should be presenting to the board in July. Everything seems to be going very well with them. Okay. Cash disbursements for the month of May. Cambria Iron Works, $17,796.94. The Grant Partnership Fund, $19,727.23. Centertown Mall, $2,303.15. Revolving account, $141,269.74. And Johnstown Regional Sewage, $823,480.54 for the total disbursements for the month of May. $1,004,577.60. Any questions, concerns? You're good? Okay, thank you.
next, Joel Valentine from Wessel is gonna give his report on, sewage finances. What's the official, name of his report? This
This is for the month of May, the financial, overview for the month of May.
Yes,
From the financial
which again, we request, as we want eventually to go for an upgrade from S&P, and hopefully Joel's gonna lead us to the promised land.
Well, thank you. As you know, this is the second time I'm presenting. S&P recommended a financial consultant. So last month we were sort of getting our hands around things a little bit. This month I wanted to present like some picture, like graphs, because I think it starts to tell the story. It was a good way for me to get up to speed, and then Cheryl and Melissa and I will start working on really like starting to implement some of the recommendations and things like that. But I thought this like historical perspective was a good first step to something to get our hands around. So on page 2, it's a look at 2021 cash and debt balances, and you can see the debt slowly being paid down in 2021, cash slightly going down. And then 2022, you see the debt continuing to decrease, and cash building slightly in December of 2022. And then on graph 4 is a look at 2023. See the continued pay down in debt, and also the trend of starting to build that cash up. So that's really what we're hoping to try to start doing, and you can see it there, in a format trending in the right direction. Graph 5, and these all follow a similar theme with the bar graphs or the line graphs. 2021 is going to be the blue line. 2022 is your orange line, and so far in 2023 is the green line. And then in this case, I just took, the budget isn't necessarily prepared by month, it's an annual budget, so for purposes of this graph, I just divided the annual budget by 12. And you can see in 2023, the cash receipts, other than January, were at or exceeding the budget so far through May for cash receipts. And on page 6, same concept. You see the budget there at just around $1 million a month, and you can see in 2021 and 2022, a lot of times we were over budget. In 2023, cash disbursements have remained under budget thus far year to date. And then graph 7 is a look at just simply the math on those slides: receipts less disbursements. You did budget a slight surplus for the year of like $30,000, and you see 2023 thus far, receipts exceeding disbursements. And then following along the same concept, on graph 8, I started to chart out like specific revenue and expense items. So here you see the residential collections. In March, they got up to the budget number. April lagged off a little bit. In May, we're starting to approach back up to the budgeted number there for residential collections. And dumping on page 9, you can see you're doing quite well there, well over budget on the dumping fees. March was a really good month, and April and May as well. Other revenue, that's just like lumping all the other miscellaneous fees and income coming in. Some of the larger items there in 21 and 22 were when you received loan funds in. Your statements are prepared sort of on the like cash basis of accounting, so they're not treated as debt on your internal statements. So you can see the influx is there. Thus far in 2023, no significant like miscellaneous receipts like that. Debt service, as you should be, and this is something that S&P will obviously be monitoring and looking at, but you're right on budget there. So the debt service has been even. You can not even see the green line because it's blends right in with the yellow line there.
So Joel, where you can't see it, that you said that's underneath that orange line there.
It's just right underneath the budget line, the lighter orange or yellowish line. So yeah, it's there. It's just hidden. because you're right on budget. Graph 12, and this is where I think Bill and I were kind of having a sidebar at the start, where some of those cash decreases had come over in the prior years because you were funding some of the capital purchases out of operating cash. And you can see thus far this year, you've not made no significant capital improvements. The green line there is
That spike, that is the self funding of that one sewer project?
Clinton Street? Clinton Street.
Clinton Street, yep. Okay.
Chemicals, so far you did have a plus up there in May that we're slightly over budget, but other than that, remaining under budget for most of the year. The Dorning Point contract, right in line with budget thus far, a slight peak in April, but bounced back out to come right within line. The administrative expense for collecting and billing, also slightly over budget in March, but otherwise remaining on track there as well. The sewer lateral program, Melissa talked about that at the front end. You have increased activity there, which is good. I think you're really serving your mission with that program and getting cash out to the residents. Graph 17 is the other expenses. There are two, this is just sort of capturing all the miscellaneous expenses, remaining in line with budget there as well. And graph 18, the final one, is the administrative charge back over to JRA. Thus far, we've not drawn anything or charged anything into the sewer operations for the JRA side of things. So overall, I thought this was a good way to sort of capture where you're at, sort of where you were, how things came together. I know it gave me that perspective, and I think it's something I'll just like continue to build on. I don't know if we'll do it every month, but sort of like your feedback. If there's anything else, let Melissa know that you'd like to see, not see.
No, this was very understandable, and I think it's very thorough, so we appreciate it, and let's just keep doing it, and hopefully our team will be able to, achieve what they need to do.
Yeah, certainly, moving in the right direction, so.
Thanks, Joel.
I have a picky question.
Sure.
For illustration purposes, when these lines are on top of each other, is there any way that, does your software allow you to kind of visually show that as kind of like a hatched area with like green or orange or something like
Or
that?
two different dashes.
Yeah, I can look at that. I think when they blend together, they kind of just pick a color, but I can try to work on that a little bit.
Right.
I'll see what my admin
If there's a way to hatch it.
Yeah, I understand what you're
Yeah,
saying.
yeah, okay.
Thank you, Joel.
Yep, sure thing.
You can stay if you like, Joel, it's up to your
I'll stay for a little bit. Thank you.
All right, let's see here. We need the sanitary sewer overflow report.
Good afternoon, everyone. Tom Cagbar for the court reporter. Interceptor sewer system projects, Fairfield Avenue is still status quo. We're still working on closeout, coordinating with the DP on that. Interceptor maintenance projects, my first bullet point there was a past activity. USG was into town this morning to do their initial assessment of the siphon cleaning at Broad Street. They're still here probably doing a few things on that. We've been put on notice that they need the dumpster delivered for Monday, so I'm expecting that they'll start that activity next week. So that's an ongoing project. Relining of the Washington Street. We're still waiting for some materials. Snyder Environmental has some materials to obtain yet to finish the relining of Washington Street between Bedford Street and Market Street. I expect that within the next 30 days as well. Consent order activities, report number 29 was prepared and submitted. No comments were received. We're about ready to start the next cycle. Report number 30 will be due by the end of July. Reminder letters to the system, to the member systems need to go out so that we can begin that report preparation. Consent order and agreement flow monitoring program. There's a resolution on your agenda for renewal of the meter to monitor flows at Laurel Run Siphon. That's a renewal of an existing contract for another 12-month period. The NPDS renewal activity is ongoing as well. We're down to some last data analysis before submission. No update on the H2O grant or the small water systems grant. Questions come in every once in a while and we respond accordingly. The Chapter 94 report was submitted. No comments have been received on that. This is the time of the year where we do begin the activity on the engineer's report and budget. So we'll be beginning that here over the next 30 to 45 days. Dornick Point wastewater projects, as Melissa reported, the RFP for operation maintenance has gone out and 3 bids were received on that. We'll assist on that as necessary, as requested as well. There was some comments that came into the authority regarding the industrial pre-treatment program. These came in several months ago. They came in as far as in the form of recommendations. We did not respond to them, but they did follow up and asked us, are we going to respond to that? So we're working on a response to the recommendations that they made related to the industrial pre-treatment headworks analysis that was received several months ago. And we're working with Infomark folks and the industrial pre-treatment coordinator to get a response to those recommendations from the third party. And that's all I have.
Yeah, I got who is the they that
On the EPA, that would be the EPA who has sent that out to a third party renewal reviewer. So basically the EPA has made
it's
recommendations.
a contractor from
Yes.
the EPA,
Yes.
I see, okay. And the other thing was you were talking about that siphon repair. I presume, so is it typical that the DEP oversees that as you were explaining?
Not the siphons, no.
What were you saying there?
This is a maintenance. The siphon is a maintenance activity which has never been addressed in my tenure working with the authority. It's one of those final maintenance activities that needs to be cleaned, inspected, make sure they're still operable.
And who's making these recommendations? What party?
Me through Mike.
We're doing
just
that
some-
internally?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't clear.
Yeah, these are pieces of the system that have not been addressed in quite some time.
And the one siphon that maybe I could ask you about, that you were concerned about, how's that moving along?
That's what he's talking about, they're here today.
They're here today?
They want the
Yeah.
dumpster delivered on Monday and start on Monday.
Okay, and those comments were really all internal between you and the contract? Good, okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Thank you.
Morning. Just to stay on that USG, Tom and I, we met with them today, and we're meeting with some property owners to develop some staging areas, also protocols, any kind of safety issues, and we reached out to Mike at the plant for grit disposal. So they're planning on starting next week, so we're focusing on that. As to our monthly meetings with EADS and also Infomark employees, some of the things that we're working on are the LED upgrading, and I'm waiting for some estimates to come back from that. We're looking at about 200 some lights that are going to be upgraded to LED. Also, there is an erosion problem that needs to be taken care of down there, and we're also seeking estimates on that, along with some upcoming contracts. The veterinarian center is on hold pending. The Iron Street corridor, there has been a lot of work and a lot of collaboration between JRA, the Cambridge County Library, also Beginnings, and Martin Baker. So over the past couple of weeks, if you've seen it, you've seen significant improvements as to the walkability and also the overall maintenance. And we're continuing to monitor that and stay stay on top of that, and we're hoping that the LED lightings can be installed sometime in August. Also along the Iron Street roadway, this past week we did some line paving, so to help vehicular traffic in and around that area. There's a lot of traffic with fog lines and center lines that have been done. So
Got a lot of good publicity on the trail.
yeah, it was good. It was a good partnership with all the parties mentioned. A lot of good people working together. In your packet is the storm sewer easement and also a resolution. I've been contacted by EADS. Their plan is to upgrade a storm line that is going to require boring underneath our trail, and there's an easement for signage. Mr. Barton and I spoke about it. It's very little impact that is going to take place to the trail itself. It's all boring. There's no excavation that's going to take place there, and they're looking sometime in next year to do that. Typically what it is just increasing the storm line and a new location to a new outfall at the river itself. They want to improve that. Also in your packet is the Iron Street resolution, bridge resolution. As Melissa spoke, a letter was sent to them to include JRA in their TIP funding. Again, it's just, we did this last year and we are committed to a 5% only. Sewer lateral and ARPA is continuing, and again, we'll keep the board updated on the cycle. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mike,
Yes.
the easement for the new sewer,
Yes.
does that entail a new permit for that line? Because it's a new line, right?
Yes.
A new outfall.
Yeah.
So it'd be a new NPDS permit.
Yes, which is through the city of Johnstown. It's a storm line, and the engineer on that project is EADS.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Bill, you're up.
Very briefly, I worked on the mortgages. That's a major part of what goes on every month, is getting the mortgages recorded, taken off, satisfied. I have also reviewed some of the EDA documentation that will be needed to finish the Industrial Park Road, and those papers were all, there's nothing to argue about in those documents. State Theater, we had negotiations over the past month, and some things came up at the very, after we had also, some things came up afterwards. The hospital attorneys in Nashville actually accommodated it, and we were okay with it. They had left out the elevator and stairway issue.
Yeah, that's fine.
So I'm waiting right now to hear back from State Theater that it is okay to tell the hospital we're ready to go. I expect that to happen within a day or two.
And the first line of the term sheet does change it. Laura's been very instrumental in this project.
I don't know about instrumental, consistent at least. To purchase for the $1, not the 99 year lease. So that, did you notice that change? That was the one thing they were very adamant.
Yes, no, it has to be the sale, yeah. And the last thing is, we got 2 letters in the first week of June from Bob Brierton concerning sewer operations. You read the June 2nd letter, it looks like things are about to hit the fan. But he sent another letter on June 9th. The one to DEP says they're going, and the letter on June 9th is an explanation to the Attorney General, Pennsylvania Attorney General, that there are a lot of things that they have to do before they're able to file a suit, and a lot of those things pretty clearly are speculative, whether they'll be able to accomplish it. So we still have people in the community who are objecting to our concept of the correction of the sewage overflows, but they don't appear any closer to doing anything about it than they have for the past year.
And I have these letters. I'd like to submit them for the record.
Melissa has passed it on to the insurance company, which we're required to do when we hear the claim, and we can just sort of hold tight, sit on things. My opinion, what I have seen so far from him, I don't think there's really good legal arguments here, but until I actually see a complaint, we can't do a full analysis. That's all I have.
Perfect, okay. I think we need a motion to accept all these reports. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second? Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselwhite?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Trucillo?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get into the resolutions here. A resolution of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Johnstown are approving a request by the City of Johnstown for a permanent and temporary easement and rights of way for the construction and operation of a storm sewer located in the 13th Ward, tax map number 83-001-107.003. Is there a motion for approval?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselwhite?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Trucillo?
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting to B. A resolution of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Johnstown requesting that the number 1 Iron Street Bridge over Hingston Run be added to the Cambria County 2023 TIP application. Is there a motion?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselwhite?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Trucillo?
Yeah.
Okay, a resolution of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Johnstown authorizing the execution of a contract with the Hatch Company for the collection and delivery of the flow metering data.
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, a roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselwhite?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Trucillo?
Yes.
Okay, we're good. Okay, finally here, a resolution of the Redevelopment Authority of the City of Johnstown authorizing the payments of certain obligations related to sewage operations in accordance with Standing Resolution number 3869. Is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselwhite?
Yes.
Ms. Hugo?
Yes.
Ms. Ray?
Yes.
Mr. Trucillo?
Yes.
Okay. New business, I did one thing, and I'm gonna address it to Mr. Barbin, that in your work as the counselor for the Water Authority, is Mr. Hall still the chairman of the Water
Yes.
Authority? Oh,
Yes.
okay. So if you could pass along this message to him and request as a courtesy of chairman to chairman. I'm hearing some things about, the dam. I was wondering if he could update us on the dam project, and situation of the Norfolk Dam. I think we know he has a busy schedule, and we'd like the update to be on the record, but we'd be willing to, I'm sure we could schedule a special meeting for such an update to accommodate his schedule.
I'll let him know this afternoon.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, we still got the public comment. You're up, sir. Well, who wants to speak here? I don't wanna eliminate anybody.
You go first, sir. Absolutely, you go first.
Okay. And do we got somebody on the phone, do you think?
I'm not sure, I don't know.
Michelle, is anyone on the phone for public comment?
No, we're good.
You state your name and your address, sir?
Sure. My name is Carl Seal, S-E-E-L. I reside at 700 Park Avenue, Johnstown, PA, 15902. In Moxham, where Kevlar vests are optional. No, I'm kidding. I'm a retired constable from Arizona, a former state legislator from Arizona, and I've been here for about 1.5 years now. Bought this church, built it at the turn of the century. I love it. As a child, we had a hotel in Bedford, Pennsylvania, the Pennsylvania Hotel in downtown Bedford, which I visited again. That turned into a retirement home now. But it was neat to meet people that were there when it was our hotel, and I came across a piano that I played on as a kid in there. So I have some unique connections to Johnstown. I came here kind of fortuitously. I saw opportunity here. My dad taught me when you want to find opportunity, you look at the bottom performing cities. Johnstown being one of them, soon to not be, because I see a lot of great things happening here in Johnstown. And needless to say, I was happy to move here, and then to realize that my great-grandfather was one of the executives of U.S. Steel when Carnegie had to break it up into U.S. Steel, and he was involved with Lorraine Iron Works. And here I am in Moxham looking at what was the Lorraine Iron Works. So I was here by accident, but I think by providence. I've been instrumental in the last 3 shootings, not in them, but in solving the crimes. There's been 3 shootings within about 500 feet of my building in the last year. One was a murder in front of St. Pat's. That was pretty high profile. My cameras and my assistance law enforcement was instrumental in helping them identify the perpetrator and where he went and things. The shooting that happened at Coleman and Bond, my cameras were instrumental in helping identify and put the perpetrators at the scene of the crime. And the recent shooting to 10 rounds through the neighbor's door with a drug dealer at 3:30 in the morning. My cameras put him at the scene of the crime, identified him, and credible witnesses they're prosecuting. Cameras work, so I plan on doing a lot more of them. The reason I'm here today is as I've worked with other investors from Arizona, and I attended the auction this last Friday and was quite miffed, perturbed, I'll use those words, that there were a couple properties that we wanted to bid on because we want to convert them to rent to own. So as people, when you have home ownership, that turns the community around. Not Section 8 rentals, but home ownership, rent to own. The biggest obstacle typically is their credit and down payment. And with the city of Johnstown having the new home buyer program, if we rent to own for a couple years, help them clean up their credit, they can qualify for the home purchase program, which will help them be an owner and develop in the property. So that's what we want to do. I was frustrated to see that the Greater Johnstown Water, or you guys, the Redevelopment Authority, scooped 13 properties. There were a bunch of us in there that wanted to bid on them, and we were pretty frustrated. So I am happy to say I had a meeting with Melissa earlier, before this meeting, that she assures me based on what she sees, she's got a good solution to help the public and people like me to know that properties that Johnstown Redevelopment Authority is interested in, so we don't worry about having to bid on them. So we're going to find a workaround and a solution to that. So I appreciate the meeting with you regarding that.
No, for sure. You know what, and I don't want to interrupt, I just, real quick. So what were you told then that you weren't able to know when you went to the Tax Claim Bureau?
Yes.
They wouldn't say which ones we were.
No, they don't
Once
tell
they're-
who
yeah, once
files
they're-
the $200 initial bid.
So
They
once
don't
they're
disclose
public
that.
record here, there would be no reason why they couldn't, right? Once we approve the resolution?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, it would, well, but we have to, and Larissa's standard thing is she doesn't want the person who offers 200 being harassed by other people.
Yeah.
No,
So-
and I understand
So,
completely.
but we can tell her, we don't care,
Okay.
and because the land bank is a public organization, transparency is better, and we can ask her that. I'll
Yeah.
remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, and moreover, to learn that you're acquiring the property, but then in turn, making a very public notice that people like me can put together proposals, which I intend to submit proposals for 2 of the 13 properties as to what I want to do with them. Others, my investors and stuff, we want to improve the property and turn it over to rent to own. But I'll put that in writing and see what happens from there. So it's good to see that, and I just wanted to comment on that. So thank you for meeting with me and having a good solution to that. I'm also a little frustrated that I've been here a year and I've tried to comply with the lateral line, the sewer line. When I first got here, you guys ran out of funds for that. I was told I couldn't apply because I didn't own the property yet, and it was in December. And then when I owned the property, you were out of money for the low interest loan, and the Johnstown Water Authority is charging me a penalty for not being compliant. And then I have the backdrop that is compliant now, but I got the front drop that still needs to become in compliance. But the end of the story, and still to hear today, that I'm glad that you have some funds from the city of Johnstown for low interest loans for property owners like me to comply. So I'm looking forward to getting the other lateral line in compliance, God willing, by the end of this year. But as you guys all know, it's hard to find contractors that are certified to do the work to get it done. And it can only be done during a certain window of time when the ground's soft enough to work it. So needless to say, I do want to thank you for having that now, the low interest loan capability, so I can be compliant and keep that property moving forward. The other things that I'm doing with the property, I plan on doing weddings and maybe a comedy club, because we need a little levity. And I live there in the church, so it's really a cool place, and I'm learning about the history from other people in town that went to church there. The grant too, the weatherization grant, I learned from Melissa today. Thank you. I'm going to make an application to the county for the weatherization grant. But the city told me that the church didn't qualify under ARPA because it wasn't a residence, it was a commercial building. Well, my understanding of the federal law is very clear that any portion of a structure used as a dwelling and is your primary residence qualifies under federal law. But I'll share that with the county as I make my application for the weatherization grant, because I found a solution to fix the roof under 10 grand, which has been a lot of machinations to get there. I really do appreciate the board's time. I've probably exceeded my 2 minutes, and I sincerely appreciate to revise and extend my comments. I appreciate that, thank you. Low interest, okay, we got that handled. The sewer, I'm happy to see the debt coming down on the sewer. I would appreciate, hopefully, that rates will go down as a ratepayer. Hopefully rates will go down once the debt's retired on the sewer system. And again, low interest loan, I'm looking forward to that. So thank you again for allowing me to speak to you today. I have some concerns about the operation of the Redevelopment Authority, but again, I am quite confident with the meeting I had with Melissa earlier today that she's on some great solutions to help us and move forward in a much more productive way. So thank you again for your time.
And welcome to Johnstown.
My pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Okay, you're up.
Hi everybody, my name is John Clanch. I'm a resident of Southmont, and I hope I'll be afforded the same amount of time to speak what I need to speak. I'm here today because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but there are ordinances in many of the local areas that the sewer system serves that require us to pay sewer maintenance bills. Okay. Before the Johnstown Redevelopment Authority had control of the sewer systems, okay, the pipes or whatever, okay, sewer maintenance in Southmont was $12 to $24 a year. At this time, it's $500 right now, and I can tell you since the JRA has taken control of the sewer systems, it's now $592 a year to maintain my sewer pipes. Okay, I've put several right-to-know requests in with the borough of Southmont to see what they do exactly to maintain my sewer pipe. The sewer pipe's underneath my street. I pick random streets, okay, to see what exactly $592 per, not just address, but per account. Okay, $592, and let's be real about something. Johnstown is the fastest shrinking city in the state. Okay, it is one of the worst. It is one of the worst places to economically. Okay, and with $592 a year that I have to pay. Okay, and for the amount of money that we pay for the water. Okay, our water is more expensive than any place else in the state. That's number one. Number two, for some reason there is no PUC oversight for some. You guys have, between the Johnstown Water Authority and the owners of the sewer systems, there is no PUC oversight. So when a resident has trouble with their water, and let's face it, water is something we all need. If you don't have access to water, you'll die in 3-4 days, right? But every municipality around here has ordinances in place to shut off people's water, okay? If in Southmont, if you get behind with your sewer maintenance bill and the garbage, mind you, the garbage bill is attached to that account. If you get behind on that, they are authorized by ordinance number 520 in the Borough of Southmont to shut off residents' water. Okay, and furthermore, it's not the resident's account, it's on a landlord's account. So if you're a renter, okay, the Borough of Southmont, and I don't know if this was mandated by the owners of the sewer system, but there's a problem when the bottom line and accounts come before people's lives. Money. You guys are worried about money, okay? That water in North Fork, okay? If I really wanted to, okay, I could go out there with buckets and take it, okay? Right? Okay, I don't know. In theory, I could go to any body of water with buckets and take it, but that's not feasible. That's really not feasible at all. I don't understand what the predatory ordinances and the amount of money you expect from people, elderly people on fixed incomes, people like me. My mother's blind and I take care of her. That's what I do, okay? And this is just ridiculous how much you expect us to pay for water and then to clean and then to maintain the pipes. $600 a year when it used to be $12. I don't understand why it is that way. I appreciate your guys' time. Thank you very much. And I just want to say one more thing. And if anybody else follows me or whatever, I understand I'm the most hated person in Southmont. I don't want to bring that here, but I have concerns about this because furthermore, yes, as a matter of fact, yesterday, a good friend of mine, an elderly lady that lives a block away from me, told me that the Borough of Southmont now wants $800 a month out of her to pay her arrears, okay? Come on. I mean, can't you guys come up with a program to the Johnstown Redevelopment Authority to help citizens with these problems? Or to make it, why did it go from $12 a year to $592? I don't understand. I mean, I might only have a trade school education, but I can do simple math and it doesn't add up. I've never seen anybody coming in and maintaining these. I don't understand why it costs so much now as compared to 5-6 years ago. It was $12. I don't understand. So thank you for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bill, do you have anything to add or?
You don't control Southmont Borough. This board does not really have a say in what Southmont Borough charges. You also don't have a say in what the water authority charges. Perhaps he would be better off addressing both those agencies.
Okay, I assume you've been to the Southmont Borough.
Yes, I have. I've addressed them. I just wanted to make it clear to you guys too that the municipalities are charging this amount of money.
So
that's why I brought it to you.
Just for the record, you did understand Mr. Barman's comment.
Absolutely. I just wanted to make everyone aware, even if on a personal level, that's the only way I can address you guys is by using public comment. So I just wanted to put it all in your heads as human beings, because I know we all have a conscience. And do you really want to shut off an old lady's water over money? That's what my point. That's my whole entire point was about this thing. So thank you for your time. Thanks, Mark.
I think unless somebody's jumped on the phone, I think we're ready to have a motion for adjournment. Give the phone, if anybody's on the phone, it's your last call here. Not hearing that, could we have a motion for adjournment?
I'll move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please, ma'am.
Mr. Pascarella?
Yes.
Mr. Hasselbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Shuko?
Yes.
Ms. Ray? Yes. Mr. Truesdale?
Yes.
Okay, we're done.
Have a good day, guys. Thanks. See ya.
Mike.